Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Outside is the world of experience, inside is the experiencer of the world, and they are connected together by the experience. So within is experiencer, without is experienced. They join together by experience. Out of these three components, how much importance we give to whom determines the quality of our life. When we give importance to the experience world, we become down to earth materialist. For us, matter alone matters and nothing. So the whole life is spent only collecting, accumulating wealth, and that alone gives a person happiness. This is one pursuit in which we spend our life. So, the quality of life of such a person will be, he will look upon the world as either rich or poor, prosperous or not prosperous. If we ask Americans to classify the world, so what is their classification of the world? One is overdeveloped country and India is never developed country. And what is the development in that country? The development is Kentucky Fried Chicken, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. This is the only history that they have. See, when I was moving in Vienna as well as in England, Wales area particularly, there the house where I was staying in one of my friend's house is about 350 years old house. So the beams of the wood, they are not properly cut. They are taken from the field and fixed somehow like that, those days. Because that country has that much at least history, thousands of years. But when you go to the America, hardly a baby in the life of any nation, 200-300 years, hardly anything. So when materialism becomes the primary concern of our life, we are down to earth, accumulating and destroying wealth. One. Such a person is all the time outside. He is never inside, within himself. And such people want to go away from themselves. Such people are afraid of themselves. These days you must have seen, these advertisements of these iPods, Apple's launch iPods. There will be weird kind of people, and they will be having, the ladies have got Mangal Sutra, they have got, that ear sutra, and iPod in their hand. They cannot stay with them. They want to run away. And then this becomes the culture, the tradition of a society after some time. I was in England, I think, yes. There was one lady, she used to come, one girl actually, come for my meditation talks and class. And I don't charge money. Wherever I go, it is free for everybody. So she was coming, and after the whole session is over, if somebody wants to give, they give. If they don't want to give, don't give. We have no problem. So she said, Swamiji, I feel I cannot afford to give anything. I said, Mama, you don't have to give. You just come. This is the divine knowledge. It is not my property. So you come. No, but I really want to give you something. I said, give me a hug. What else? It is free. No, I will take you to my place of work. I said, okay. I went to her place. You know what she was working? She was working in a horse stable as a horse cleaning person. She said, Swamiji, I am allowed by rule that I can entertain a guest once in a month. So you please be my guest. Then we can go on a horse ride. So I went with her for a horse ride. So when all the things were being prepared, that time there was one small child, and that small child in that country, so much advanced countries, there the children are produced without father, advancement. So that single mother and a single child. Now this mother is working in that stable. Who will look after the child? So she has put one music box, loud music, and the child is hardly 6 months. Dang, 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 non-stop. The life becomes so noisy and extrovert. Therefore, when we are giving undue importance to the wealth or the matter, we become extrovert and go away from ourselves. Now the second type of people, they give too much importance to the experiences that they have. So their whole life is constant reference of the good or the bad experiences that they had, and they do not want to drop those experiences. As a result, they create an album of their experiences. Al-Qaeda, similarly album. And then their experiences become so important for them that anywhere they go in their life, their mind becomes comparative. See? This we see in the lives of the people, elderly people. During our time, it was so different. Today, it is so different. One Gujarati fellow in San Jose, he was complaining about his son. Swamiji, I am fed up of my son. I said, what can I do? He is your son. When my father used to come in my room, back way in Bombay, when my father used to come in my room, I used to run away from my room out of respect and fear. Now, when he comes in my room, I run away out of this, respect and fear for him. So, I don't know what is my life. I said, look here, your life is meant for running. Keep on running. So, whenever we get lost in our experiences so much, the net result is we are not available in the present. Get this point, these are very important. So either we get lost in the material object or the world and thereby go away from ourselves, or we get lost in our experiences and then create a big picture out of all these experiences put together. As a result, we are never available in the present. Such people are always leading in the historical background. I received one SMS. I received a lot of SMS full of wisdom. One SMS was, as the wife grows old, who likes her more? Means, who likes an old wife? So I wrote, I don't know, because I don't have a wife. How do I know? My question is, how they can like wife? This is my question. So the answer came. An archaeologist likes the old wife, you know. He is all the time living in the past. He is never living in the present. So when we give importance to the memories of the past, we do not live in the present. And those who do not live in the present, they can never enjoy life. See, we have no choice whether we want or we don't want. We have to live in the present. See? I cannot live yesterday. I cannot live tomorrow. See? Now, the third. Either we have given importance to the experience world outside, or we are on the bridge between the without world and within experiencer. So the bridge is the experience. We cannot live on the bridge. Nobody can construct house on a bridge. Suppose you are going on a ladder, halfway you go, and then you decide, I'll stay here only. No, you can't. Either you go at the top or come down. In the same manner, you cannot continue to live in the experience all the time. Then the third alternative, or the place where we get lost, is the experiencer. Now, out of these three, those who are living in the experience world, they will never enter the hall of inquiry or satsanga or anywhere. They have no time. Swamiji, marne ko time nahi hai. They will never think about it. So much extrovert. The second type, they are so much lost in their experiences that they are constantly comparing, and then they get totally outdated. Because they are not living in the present. And when they become outdated, they are misfit to live in this world. And when they are misfit to live in this world, they feel neglected, dejected, and such people with all the prosperity and comfort are comfortably dejected and depressed. You will see all the depressed fellows, they are never hand-to-mouth people. They have got all the luxuries, all the comforts, and they are luxuriously, comfortably depressed. I am depressed. One lady told me, Swamiji, I am depressed for last many years. I said, congratulations. See, this depression is when we are not able to take our experiences in the right manner. Then the third thing comes is our experiencer. Now, this experiencer has got two shades. One experiencer is accumulation of the total past. Now here I will tell you something very important, be extremely attentive. You will get a clear understanding of what is the meaning of spiritual practice, what is the meaning of meditation, etc. See, when we are constantly talking about our past, comparing, we are disrespecting the present. When we disrespect the present, as a punishment of the disrespect of the present, we suffer in life. How we suffer? What happens, if we have to talk about ourselves, we can talk only about the total past. This experiment I did long time back when I was traveling from Bombay to Delhi. Those days I used to carry all the signs of spirituality. The full stop, or the railway line, or the electric post, or the Rudraksha Mala, or the Spatika Mala, or your Tulasi Mala, or the Jabayanti Mala, some Mala actually. Then you look, you must have proper decorum or makeup. So I used to do that. And when I was sitting in my compartment, one person came, a huge, healthy. When he came and Namaste Swami, Namaste Swamiji, आपका नाम क्या है? What is your name? Where from you have come? Then I said, my God, he's going to eat my head another 36 hours. So then I invoked Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi and took out the mala from my pocket like Shivaji Maharaj used to take out the talwar. And I showed him that mala and I said, मैं जप कर रहा हूँ, आप बताइए अपने बारे में, आप कौन है, कहाँ जा रहे हैं? And that is what he wanted. So he started. He started from the third generation. My great-grandfather used to stay in Kabul and we used to stay in Chana that time, Kabul Grand. So 3 generations I had to listen because he has to spend 36 hours with me, take complete revenge. So he started, and in between, I used to, so that he feels encouraged. So afterwards he came like that, then our TT came, checked, again he continued, and then food came, that was over, again he continued. Then I was feeling sleepy. And he said, then my children told that, Papa, this is a very humid place, it is not comfortable for you, go to Delhi, it's better. Okay. Then I came in this compartment. Then I met you. Really? Then you asked me to talk about myself. Oh, great. Then I started talking. Then, see, the moment you come in the present, you have nothing to talk. What is an ego? Ego is summation of the total past memory plus carrying the load of the past. Past is called in Sanskrit as Bhuta. Bhuta also means a ghost. So those who are possessed by the Bhuta or the ghost, how they behave? What happened? No, he is possessed by a ghost. In the same manner, when I was there, I did it. As a result, we never remain in the present. So, this I, which is constantly living in the past and destroying the present, has got another facet. And what is that? He who is carrying the load of the past will be always worried about the future. Now what is the worry of the future? Worry of the future is trying to solve the non-existing problems. See? All worries are like that. I don't know what is going to happen. If you don't know, then relax. If you know what is going to happen, then prepare. Where is the place for worry? Worries do not deliver any solution. But this is how either we are carrying the load of the past or worrying about the future. Together is called as the ego. You know, you all are experts. Email, then e-commerce, ego. It must go. Then only we will be leading a life meaningful. So this is one facet of the experiencer. Now there is another facet of the experiencer, and that experiencer is the one who is illuminating all the experiences, but he is not getting influenced by any experience. See? Example, like you are listening to me, isn't it? Not getting influenced by any statement. तुसी बोलते रहो, अब time pass हो. Be very attentive. How many good and bad things have gone through? We have all illuminated them. We were not influenced. Be very attentive. The other day, one man was telling, after my lecture was over, he came to thank. And in the thanking, actually in thanksgiving is an opportunity to give a lecture. So he came for that. And in that he was telling, we have heard from Swamiji the topic of Sthita Pragya Purusha from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. What I have understood, I will tell you. I said, my God, now 7 days lecture is going to say what? Then he said, I lost my wife 15 years before. That time I had 2 children. They were small. And I was so disturbed and frustrated and crying and weeping. And slowly, the children were brought up. I was busy with them. And now they are all well read, settled in their life. I am the same. The death of my wife is the same. Experience is the same. But today I am not that miserable as I was miserable when the event had taken place. Then he said, if I were like I am today when the event has taken place, then I would have been called as a man of steady wisdom. See how beautiful is it? That means what? There are 2 options. One is, miseries will come. About this there is no option. The option is, when the misery comes, whether you can become miserable or you refuse to become miserable, that is the option available to us. So if we cooperate with the miseries and we become miserable, nobody can help us. Therefore, now let us dissect this experiencer. Whenever the experiencer gets identified with the experience that he is going through, and individuality is crystallized. But when an experience is happening, but the experiencer is not born, then he is abiding in the absolute truth. See? And for this absolute reality, there is no division of inside or outside. This is what is the spiritual practice we all have to do. Then we will go beyond within and beyond without. As long as within and without difference exists, samsara will continue. And for that there are many techniques. Few techniques we will try to understand, wherein we will try to dissolve the difference within and without and transcend and live in absolute state. Now, first one. These are all the techniques tried, it will definitely help. First thing is, yes, we need so many things in this world, there is no doubt about it. We should have a lot of wealth, very good. Living in a poverty-stricken lifestyle is not spirituality. Work hard, earn a lot, there is nothing wrong in that. But let us also remember, that is not all. See? Many times this notion comes in the minds of the people. Swamiji, pata nahi mera kya prarabdha hai, I am not able to earn a good money. This is totally wrong. There are 2 aspects. As a result of our prarabdha or the earlier karma, we get only 2 things. If we have done a lot of sins, we get miseries. If we have done a lot of good deeds, we get joy. Sukha and the dukkha. These are the only 2 results of karma phala. There is no third. Prosperity or failure, it is not because of prarabdha. Prosperity and failure, they are dependent on your efforts. You put efforts, you will succeed. But our efforts are self-cancelling. See? We start something, then we give up something. There was one person, he came to me in Bombay. Swamiji, I have tried so many things, but never I could succeed in anything. Therefore, I have come to you. You give me Diksha, I will become Babaji. And then, like you, I will travel in the AC and aeroplanes, and so many people will come and give me nice food and do namaskar, and I am very fascinated by your lifestyle. Therefore, please you adopt me as your disciple, and then I will do that. See, this is how we have a very wrong notion that everything happens because of the prarabdha. No. Put efforts. Then why I am not successful, he asked me. I said, tell me what you have done. He said, Swamiji, I started this project. He used to have the files with him. All the project files where he failed. See, I started this. And then it did not work. Then I started this. It did not work. And in this manner, he started many things, concluded nothing, closed everything. See? How can you succeed? You have to be persistent, committed and dedicated. Success is bound to be. Therefore, this is one aspect of our personality, the experiencer, that if we want to live in this world outside, we have to live to succeed and not to be a failure. All those who fail, they deserve it. See, those people who work day and night, they are not fools. I'll tell you one example. This happened in Assam. I was in a tea garden with somebody, and after our dinner, I was introduced. So many people came. One was the owner of the tea garden. His name, I still remember, Lahoti. He was from Rajasthan somewhere, and they had shifted to Assam 3-4 generations before. And the local person was there, one Asani gentleman, and they studied together in the school days. So he was telling me, he said, Swamiji, look here, tell something to your God. I said, what should I tell to my God? We studied together, we grew together, but see, God has made him so rich, and I am just like that. I said, what are you? I am a college professor. Then I asked his friend, I said, hey, what is your comment now, tell? He said, Swamiji, let us ask him, how many hours he works per day? So I asked you, hey, how many hours you work? Actually, I have got 4 lectures in 1 week. And after having worked for so many years, now I don't have to prepare even my lecture, because the same notes are being repeated. So make it xerox and push it off. So virtually I don't work. And as a result, I get a very meager salary of 35,000 rupees. Okay, very good. I said, now Maharaj, you tell. So his business friend said, Swamiji, for me, dinner is a business dinner, travel is a business travel, meeting is a business meeting. When I take my wife to a 5-star hotel, that is also a business meeting, because that is some kind of formality, we have to do that. And in this manner, I work only 24 hours a day, and my friend works 0 hours a day, and yet he is getting 35,000 rupees per month. Now tell me, who is earning more? Therefore, we have to work sincerely with all dedication, and then alone our without will be improved. Don't blame to your prarabdha. The theory of prarabdha is not for justifying laziness. Otherwise, like many people, if it is in my prarabdha, God will give me. If you are not in a hurry, why he is in a hurry? See? You have to put efforts. And when we just start living, putting efforts, we will be successful and our without outer world will be perfectly well. While doing this, we will gather all the experiences. And when we gather experiences, we start pouring our experiences on the next generation. This is what we should stop. I will tell you what happens. There is one friend of mine, he is now very old, must be about 85 or 88, I don't know, alive or dead. His life is like a story of a cinema like that. He was from Bihar and he ran away from home, very poor family, and he started working on a railway station as a coolie, carrying the bags of cement or like that. Slowly he grew and he became an industrial magnate, a great industrialist. He represented India also. So when I went to his industry, and then he showed me everything and he told me the whole story. When he was telling so much, then we went to his house. I said, you told me you have got 2 sons and daughter-in-laws and all that. Swamiji, that is another story. I said, no, what is the other story? They don't want to stay with me. They are staying separate. Working place also, my cabin is separate, their cabin is separate. They are not on talking terms with me. I don't know what sin I have done. They just can't tolerate my presence. Then I said, Papa, what you have told me about your life, did you repeat this story to your children 239 million times? Every time. You know, when I came, I had nothing. It is all true. This is not wrong. But how many times will you tell your glory and make them feel miserable? See. This is how, when we repeat our past experiences again and again, whatever glorifying they may be, they become most outdated in the present. But we don't understand. Why? Because we have nothing but the past and the other people have nothing but the future in front of them. Who is interested in our past? They are worried about their future. But what can we give? Our past. And above all we say that, see, I want to share my experience with others. I said, look here, I will take this beautiful food and share my experience with you. You don't have to eat, okay? This is very tasty, you know, and this is really marvelous. This is very good. You don't have to take food. I am sharing my experience. Experience cannot be shared. You have to have your own experience. And in this manner, one of the most important things about our experiences is we must not repeat and talk about our past experiences to anybody for any reason. Ego is nothing but the summation of the total past. See, most important. That is why, you know, if you take this experiment, I conducted in one of the management gimmicks. I also play a lot of management gimmicks. There we had a camp and it was a unique type of management conference. I said, hey, you all have to come with your wives, children and grandparents, everybody come. So about 20 CEOs came from different companies with the whole family. Morning, we used to have our management session. Afternoon, take food and sightseeing. Evening, we used to have satsang and fun games. In one of that, we had this fun game. I said, today we'll play something to learn. So I called one child, 5 years of age, and asked him, hey, come on, tell something about you, whatever you want to talk, or anything you want to talk. No, I said, look, we are playing. No, it's not a thing. Let us enjoy. So we called him. He came. And then he has nothing to talk. I like chocolate. And then, Mommy is very bad. She doesn't allow me to eat. Then third thing, my friend, he is very sweet. He always comes and gives me nice stickers. And then, over. I said, no, 5 minutes are not over. You have to stand and speak something. If you don't allow me, I will do susu here. I said, Baba, go. His lecture was over. Now, the second experiment. 75 not out was invited. Please come. And I said, Mauji, now you speak something about you for 5 minutes. 5 minutes? We have to call the fire brigade to tow him out. Because 75 years passed and his child only with 5 years passed. See the difference. Therefore, longer the past, terrible is the ego. And terrible is the ego, more miserable we are. Therefore, please remember, to get rid of this virus of ego, we have to very clearly and carefully understand that we have to delete the past. You know what is this ego virus? HIV virus we know. It is the biological virus. Computer virus we know. It is a logical virus. And ego is an illogical virus. There is no logic behind it. See? How there is no logic behind it, this I will explain you. Then your inside will become clear. Who is the experiencer? Is it the ego or it is the Paramatma? See? One child asked me this question. Swamiji, you tell us God is in our heart. But I think I am also in my heart. Then there are two fellows inside? I said, yes. Then how do I know who is functioning when? Suppose I do something wrong and I say, God has done it. And exactly this is what Duryodhana says in Mahabharata. Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti, janami adharmam nachame nivrutti, kenapi devena hridistitena yatha niyuktosmi tadha karomi. I know what is right, but I don't follow that. I know what is wrong, but that alone I follow. Do you know why? There is some God sitting in my heart and He is prompting me to do good and bad things. So the child also asked the same question. I said, look here. I give you a chocolate, only one chocolate. And suppose you have a sister at home. He said, why suppose I have a sister? I said, okay, you have a sister. And suppose you love your sister. Again, suppose I really love my sister. So, I give you only one chocolate. Will you eat and enjoy or will you give it to your sister? Of course, I will give it to my sister. I said, now, if eating the chocolate yourself and enjoyment, then it is you who is functioning. But giving the chocolate to your sister and enjoying, then God is functioning through you. Be very attentive. When miseries come and a miserable entity is born, it is the ego. When the miseries come, miseries are illumined, but a miserable entity is not born, then it is Paramatma. See, friends, therefore, the simplest technique of getting rid of this ego is only one. Be happy all the time. Like some people blame me. Swamiji, what is this? Whether it is Upanishad or the Gita or it is Brahma Sutra or it is the Patanjali Yoga Darshan, anything we tell you, you are nothing, only be happy, okay, be miserable. How does it matter? See? remaining happy is not an ordinary spiritual practice. See? You take food for what? For becoming miserable. Or you don't take food. Why? Today is Ekadashi. One Amma was telling Swamiji, today is Ekadashi, I am starting. I said, Amma, today you take food, tomorrow also is Ekadashi. No, you are confusing me. I said, that is my purpose. So one person eats a lot to be happy, the other one doesn't eat to be happy. A person gets married to be happy. Now the subject is different, whether he becomes happy or not. He gets married to be happy, other one is not married to be happy. See the difference? In short, all the pravrutti, involvement in this world, and the nivrutti, withdrawal from the world, is aimed at only one thing, and to be happy. Is it not? So why not we straight away hit the last nail on the coffin straight away? That we remain cheerful and happy under every set of circumstances, ego will not be born. See? But whenever something happens, we are coming, Swamiji, but why me? So my reply is, why not? You are the most suitable candidate to be miserable. We keep ourselves as a doormat and then complain that everybody comes and wipes their feet because you have placed yourself there. Don't blame the world. Therefore, when we want to work out the experiencer who is inside, this experiencer is ego. If we are miserable, depressed, dejected, moody, confused, off the track, then this is all the signs of the ego. And for that, we have to, first technique is remain happy and cheerful. Second thing, we have to remain in the utter present. So for remaining in the utter present, one of the technique is neither talk about our past nor ask about anybody's past. See? We unnecessarily gather garbage in our hard disk. There was a time, I tell you, I used to remember the names, phone numbers, addresses, street name, house name, everything meticulously. So many hundreds of friends. One day when I was sitting, it just clicked me. I said, hey, what I am doing? Because I started becoming miserable subsequently. Like, when I am talking to you, some particular quotation from some Upanishad or Gita or some other text, when I want to quote, I said, hey, in that Upanishad, what is there? And I am not remembering. Oh God, what is that? And I used to become so miserable. After the lecture is over, I will go open the book and see that and read it and write it 10 times. How did I forget? One day it clicked me. I said, what I am doing? Life is not a collection of the memories. And from that day onward, I have remembered to forget everything. See? As a result, you start remaining in the present. And the more we start remaining in the present, the more light you are. There is no burden of the past. And when this is practiced, ego is not developed. Now what is this ego with which we live in our life? This ego, if we understand, dissect, it will disappear. It is something like this. This beautiful garland, mala, is put in my neck. So we are talking about a mala, a garland. But is there anything like garland as a reality? These are different flowers, and all the different flowers are put together by a thread. See? There is nothing like garland. But because it is useful we give importance to the garland. But what is the reality? Reality is independent flowers. In the same manner, all the waking experiencers, all the wakers of our whole life, each waker is equivalent to one flower. So suppose there are only 5 wakers, let us say the other way. If there are 100, 200 wakers, 500 wakers, so there will be very big mala. 1. Now reduce, the number of wakers is less, a small mala. Still reduce, there are only 5 wakers, there will be a very small mala. If there is only 1 waker with 1 flower, no garland is made. This is so simple. We have all gone through many experiences in dream. Every dream was experienced by a dreamer. One dreamer has no relationship with the other dreamer. And therefore, there is no dream personality. See? Suppose in one dream I have seen that I am a king, other dream I have seen I am a beggar, third dream I have seen that I am a rich person, fourth dream I have seen I am a scientist. And after I collect all my dreamers, do I make a dream garland and a dream personality? No. So if we do not make a dream personality, on what ground we make the waking personality? Think. Like this garland appears, but is not. In the same manner, this ego appears, but is not. Continuity is given to this all the separate flowers because of one continuous thread. In the same manner, there is one continuous conscious existence which is supporting all the experiencers. And out of that, a garland of flowers in Hindi are called as fools. So, the garland of fools is called as the ego. So, I was here, I did like that, I did like that, I am like that, nobody appreciates me, Swamiji, what I should do? See? That is why one of the most essential spiritual practices remain in the present. One day somebody asked me this question, Swamiji, what was the reason why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi kept quiet? I said, there is nothing in this world to talk about. Therefore you must have kept quiet. He said, no, tell me something, really it should click me. I said, okay. The same experiment I played with him. I said, you tell something about you. So he started. I just started from home to meet you. On the way, I took a cab, went to the railway station, took a local and got down here, took another cab and I came to you. Then what happened? No, I came to you. I said, now what happened? He said, I am waiting for something to happen, but nothing is happening. Then I told him, look here. Why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi kept quiet, did not talk, be very attentive? Because he was always remaining in the present. When we live only in the present, we are present, and the presence is the divinity. And in this presence, there is no outside, there is no inside. When the presence is divided into inside and outside, the samsara begins. In fact, presence is not divided. Because this object is recognized as existing. Similarly, I recognize myself also as existing. So what has happened? Existence is now divided as the experiencer and the experiencer. Divided existence is samsara. See, take another example. In a plate there is rasgulla. There is, underlined is, there is rasgulla. And inside me there is me. There is me. Good. Now they are separate. Simply by looking at rasgulla, I will never have happiness or bliss. On the contrary, I will have disturbance. When can I eat it? I think nobody is looking at me, and I just take it. See? Now when the rasgulla is lifted from the plate and landed on the tongue, along with the mouth, the eyes also close. What is the experience? Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam. Now what has happened? The existence which was divided has become one. See? Therefore, the experiencer and the experiencer, when they merge together, bliss is the result. And in that experience of bliss, there is no inside or outside. Because it is that experience where there is no experiencer. Be very attentive. In deep sleep, before sleeping we may be talking and thinking 100 things. But once we sleep, then we are inside the room or outside the room. We are inside the body or outside the body. We are man or woman, young or old, 2007 or 2001. See? All these differences creating an illusion of inside outside will disappear. Therefore, within and without is an illusion, and sustenance of that illusion is called as samsara. Therefore, whatever is recognized as outside becomes a stimulus for us either to run for that or run away from that. Therefore, whenever in our knowledge there is a sense of otherness, desires are bound to be. And where there are desires, action is bound to be. Where there are actions, success and failure is bound to be. Where success and failure is bound to be, happy or miserable personality is bound to be born. And this is how experiencer is created when the interaction in the outer world are not intelligent. They are lived in a most dumb manner. Therefore, friends, in these three components of experiencer, and experiencer, in these three, we have to be extremely careful. And when you start living with this understanding and awareness, you will see you remain untouched. Not out of any struggle, but naturally. See? And it is a question of only practice. No, nothing is required. Like, many of us have the practice of commenting on everything. Our comments are not invited, yet we do comment. And then whole life is regret. I know one lady in Delhi, She told me once, Swamiji, I don't know how to correct my mistake. I said, what was your mistake? My mistake was, you have seen how beautiful I am. I said, yes, you are beautiful. My son is also very handsome, very good. Now he fell in love with a girl, and the girl is not beautiful at all. She is just like that, casual, average, not even average, below average. And I don't know what my son has seen in her. So I told him, look here, I have no problem, you get married, but at least married to somebody who is equivalent to you, if not more beautiful than you. Why do you get married to this ugly girl? And he got married to her. Whole life, there is only one thing that girl tells me. Anything I do, she says, I am not beautiful like you, I am ugly. One word she has said. Now that one word is enough to destroy the relationship for the whole life. Now why this happens? Because our inability to control commenting on the world. Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya bharatarshava papmanam pradhiyena jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore Bhagavan Sri Krishna says to Arjun, Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya. So if we want to get out of this mess of inside experiencer, outside experiencer, and creating varieties of experiences, if you want to get out of it, first step, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Indriyani adav niyamya. We have to have control over our faculty. Most important. And it is for developing the control that our scriptures tell us various vratams. So when we are told, now it is Kartik Maas, you should not eat non-vegetarian, you should not drink, you should not eat onion and garlic, etc. Scriptures are not enemies of the different foods, but only to bring to our notice, to our understanding that life is possible without many things which we have imagined that without this life is not possible. See, if you want to make miserable a Punjabi, go to their house. I have done it. Go to their house and tell, Mama, khana banao, but please don't add onion, garlic, tomato, then paneer, rajma, then chole, and this maida ka tandoori. Then what should I cook? Because that is the most important ingredient. Because we have some notions that without a particular thing, things are not possible. To change our notions are all things practiced in life. Therefore, spiritual life is changing our present notion and growing out of the wrong notions. So, first notion we all have is this. Without a particular thing, I cannot exist. It is not true. This is only imagination. Like you must have seen many times, when somebody dies, the living one is only talking one thing. Now what will happen to me? How can I live without him or her? And after the things are disposed of, this fellow doesn't die. Hey, you said, how can I live without him or her? Have you forgotten to die? So this is our wrong notion. So, the first principle, our scriptures tell, that discover freedom from dependence on people, places and objects. We have to discover the freedom. If we don't discover the freedom, we will be constantly suffering inside and reacting outside. See? Therefore, we have to change our notions. And what are the notions? Notions of dependence. Like the other day I gave you probably an example. One lady of probably Noida near Delhi, she is the wife of a retired general from Indian military services. And she came and she said, Swamiji, I like your talk and I think you will be able to help me. Yes, what is that? Money you want? I don't give you. No. You tell me to stop smoking. I smoke a lot. I think if you tell me, I will stop. Then I ask her the same thing. So why you want me to tell you? Why don't you discover your strength? When you started, did you take any permission from me? Or did I light your first cigarette, Swamiji, आप ही ने शुरू कर दिया था? No. So if you have started on your own, it is a freedom for you to reject, I won't smoke, and discover your inner strength. To discover the inner strength are all our rituals in our life. Therefore, on Monday we should not eat non-vegetarian, on Tuesday we should not drink. Whatever we try to practice is only for discovery of this freedom. Sarvam paravasham dukkham, sarvam atmavasham sukham, etad vidyat samatena lakshanam sukha dukkhayoho. So all the dependence is misery and all the independence is bliss. And for that, tasmatvam indriyani adau niyamya bharatarshava, we have to have perfect control over our senses. Like once I was in US and somewhere I went for dinner or lunch. And so many people came. In US, people come around us mainly for food, not for knowledge. So we went there and a nice food was there. And I took whatever I had to take, 1 or 2 chapati, little bit sabji and all that. Rest of the things I took outside. One person asked, Swamiji, how can you have such a control, such a lovely food, and you can just take little bit and don't take? What is the secret of your control over good food? I said, look here, you are Daridri, you get good food once in a while. I get good food 3 times a day. See? In USA, the technique is, you all must be doing WWW. USA being an advanced country, there it is FFF, fresh from fridge. So they take out from the fridge and put it into the microwave. You will not believe if I tell you, but I have personally seen and I have also eaten like that. From the fridge, they will open in one house, I won't tell you the place and name. Swamiji, you come and say what you want. So, the food is there in the fridge. So, you take out chapati and then the dal and the sabji and everything like that. Anything more you want? No, very good. Then cover with the thing and directly it goes into the microwave. And when it comes out of the microwave, you want it still more hot, again secondary. And now eat. It is like eating the pindadan. That rice ball which is given in the pindadan is never eaten, isn't it? That food is worse than that. The same. Then I told them, look here, if you have control on your faculties, you are the master of your life. Then what is external will not create ripples inside. Therefore, now next step. When we have control over ourselves, world may have turmoil, but we will become shock-proof. And when we remain shock-proof and cool under any set of circumstances, nothing can disturb us. undisturbed existence is Paramatma. Somehow, this doesn't sink in our understanding that God realization means absolute equanimity, where inside and outside difference has merged into void. See? In our Mahabharata, from where the story comes, when Parikshit was born still, his mother Uttara, she was crying and went to Bhagwan Krishna. O Lord, kindly make him alive. He is the last child. If he is not alive, our whole clan is extinguished. Please help me. And Lord casually says, if I have an iota of biasness in favor of or against anybody in the whole world, this child should not become alive. And on the strength of equanimity, the child becomes alive. Therefore, please understand, equanimity of mind is the only way where the difference outside and inside, without and within is merged. This experience is called as God realization. In the 6th chapter of Gita, Bhagavan speaks of this. I am not bluffing from my head, I am carrying somebody else's bluffs. Jitatmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukhadukkeshu tatha manapamanayoho. Shita ushna sukhadukkeshu jitatmanaha. He who remains equanimous under all conditions of opposite and manapamanayoho prashantasya. He who is not disturbed by honor or dishonor, Paramatma samahitaha, he already has as if merged in Paramatma. Therefore, friends, this mathematics of inside and outside is meant for removing the difference between inside within and outside without. This is what is ultimate given by the Upanishad. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhutvijanataha tatra ko mohaka shokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. When the wise one comes to discover that the whole world is his own expanse alone, how there can be hatred or love, how there can be any enmity or friendship, in the same manner. This ultimate removal of the difference between within and without is the ultimate achievement on the spiritual path. Therefore, friends, we live in this world outside, gather the experience and live inside. When these three things are being tackled intelligently, outside world will have no freedom to disturb the inner points. That quality of experience which does not allow disturbances to be created inside as a result of interaction outside, that quality of life is called as the spiritual life. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.